Continuing, this is an explanation of the 4 teams. This will explain exactly how to control each of the 4 standard teams. Once again, just to repeat myself, the solo teams are not going to be included in this. Because basically they're advanced, and that means you've already been through the game 4 times and likely don't need any help. So, allow me to explain. First, the Illusionary Border Team, featuring Reimu and Yukari. As I said before, these are the easiest to teach and learn with, and I wasn't kidding. As you'll notice, they have a homing bullet shot, or Reimu has a homing bullet shot, and a fairly decent spread of normal shots as well. As for Yukari, they are extremely potent, and their speed isn't that bad either. It allows them to dodge easily of whatever might be thrown at them. However, the problem immediately comes obvious when you start hitting the later stages. Their power level is very low, so this means it can take a lot longer to destroy certain enemies, like, say, bosses. However, since they have a small hitbox, this can be balanced because it'll be a little easier to dodge bullets with. They also have the longest time to activate their death bombs. This makes as I said, makes them the perfect beginner team. Moving on, we have the Area of Forbidden Magic Team, shortened known as Marissa's team or just plain Magic Team. It stars Marissa, the other usual protagonist, as well as Alice. This team boasts one of the most powerful shots in the game. Marissa can quite plainly rip through everything with her bullets. And Alice, do I even have to say it? It's just freaking insane. Her shots actually go through the enemies that they're intended for. Also, they have auto collection automatically even if they're not at maximum power. Which means at any point in time you can rush to the top of the screen and the bullets will automatically be attracted. And I believe we all know Master Spark by now. It needs no introduction. They also had the lowest point required for auto collection, making it much easier to blow up enemies in a very small amount of time, mainly due to the fact that they just, well, let's face it, rip through their defenses. Unfortunately, just like that, their weaknesses are rather, well, pronounced. You'll notice that Alice's focus, as well as even Marissa's normal shot, has very little spread on it, even when fully powered up. And they're also a very quick team, which means that they have a good chance of skidding right into an enemy bullet just by accident. And there's the one-up we mentioned, just for posterity. Alright, we've seen enough of the Magic Team that you understand how they work. Basically, this is the team for those who want to just tear through enemies as quickly as possible. Time orbs usually don't matter as much because of the fact you're just trying to get through as quickly as possible before anything major happens. And don't worry, you will do so. Well, we've seen enough of them. Let's move on to Sakuyas' team, also known as the Visionary Scarlet team. Well, I prefer to mention it by the first character, whoever's on the human side. In this case, we've got Sakuya and Remilia. They're a little odd-bullish, but as you'll notice, Sakuya's spread is gigantic. She also does slightly more damage than Reimu for her shots. Slightly. Her team ability is to slow down the items falling down the screen. This makes collecting them a little bit easier. Also, should you die while a bomb is in hand, a bomb will automatically fly out, allowing you to collect it. Which means if you're down to one bomb and you get shot, no worries. They'll allow you to get that shot instantly. Focused power is insanely strong, especially in the center. It sets a series of bats, and Remilia's shot is extremely strong. So it's kind of a pseudo-homing shot. But her bomb is really the powerhouse. It clears out several, and I do mean several shots. Killing Dao is also fairly strong. Unfortunately, Kind doesn't take kindly to all these damage. The damage points are... the problems are a little less obvious with Remilia's team. One, their hitbox is a little bit large. And two, well, their spread isn't that great on normal, for a normal shot. And considering their damage isn't as potent as Reimu's, or is only slightly better than Reimu's, it doesn't make up for the lack of homing. This can often add to a few risky games. Also, despite what I said earlier, Remilia's bombs still need a little bit of work. And as you notice, I had to move up really close for it to even do even a decent amount of damage. And as you'll notice, Killer Dao is just not very strong. The trouble is Remilia depends heavily on bullets, unlike most which cause at least a little damage if you're in range. Remilia's doesn't do any damage unless it connects with another bullet, which is just basically bad news all around. Anyway, that covers this team. How about we move on to the final team, and the one that winds up confusing pretty much everyone I know, the Netherworld team, also known as Yomu's team. It also includes Yuko. Personally, this is one of my favorite teams to play as, if they're a bit oddballish. Yomu's shots are just incredibly strong. They rip through everything, and they move somewhat freely, which does add a little bit of spread if you know what you're doing. Yuko's shots are spread out across the globe, which means that pretty much if you're aiming for familiar hunting, while there's a lot of bullets, no problem, you'll hit everything. And they do a good amount of damage, too. The biggest problem is, as everyone notes, they're reversed. This is what usually throws people off. Seriously though, give them a try. The reversal's worth it. The only other big problem I can really note is that they're slow. Is that Yuko's very, very slow, even for a focused shot. And Yomu is freaking fast. This makes running around while unfocused very risky. Their bombs, admittedly, are extremely potent. Also of note, they don't need to be at fully 80% on either side, unlike the others. Just 40% is enough, which makes it easier for getting those time orbs. If you're having a bit of trouble getting time orbs, this is definitely the team for you. But be ready, because if you're not ready for the reversal, you're going to have trouble. In any case, that covers all 4 teams. See you next time when we finally officially take on Stage 1. Cobra 1 out. just forgot to mention something real quick for the Netherworld team. If you complete a stage and you have less than 3 bombs remaining, you automatically get an additional bomb at the end of the stage. Meaning technically you get a free bomb for using bombs. If that makes any sense. Yeah, that's twice I've forgotten something in these videos.